All right, everybody, welcome into week 2 of Bears from the Couch with a Vikings fan. Justin Brown, my roommate in Chicago. You know, most of you guys might not know this, but we had a YouTube show together a few years back, little fresh 18-year-olds out of high school talking football. JB, what was that called again?
The Pinewood Perspective, baby.
Barely even remember those days. It didn't last long, but it was still tons of fun working with our friends, creating a YouTube channel.
Turned into a dynasty team, didn't it?
Yeah, we do have a dynasty team. Last year, tanked. We took J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor this year. Now we're 2-0, looking to go 3-0. We got Brett this week, but yeah, we're building an actual dynasty over here in our Dynasty Fantasy Football League. But let's talk about that Bears game here for a little bit, JB. The Bears defeated the Giants 17-13 on Sunday. Mitch Trubisky went 18 for 28, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. The stat line looks much worse than he played, honestly, but the second half just didn't go his way. You know, both interceptions were 50-50 on him, 50 on Allen Robinson, honestly. First one, just a tip ball in the air. Giants come down with the second one. Mitch throws a 50-50 ball to Allen Robinson, and he should have came down with it. It was in his hands, and Bradbury just made a great play and ripped it right out of his hands for the pick. So he walked away with 2 picks on the day because of that. So Bears didn't get to control much offense in the second half. But David Montgomery had a big day, 16 carries, 82 yards, 5.1 yards per carry, and 3 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown on that. Darnell Mooney, the rookie, 4th round pick, probably going to be taking Ted Ginn's spot for good now. 3 receptions, 36 yards, and a touchdown. And then Bobby Massey, 1 reception for 4 yards. JB, Mitch Trubisky completed 10 passes to 10 different receivers, and our second best receiver did not touch the ball one time. Anthony Miller didn't have a single reception, and 10 different players touched the ball. Okay. Can you name all 10?
You just named 3 of them.
Yes, Montgomery, Mooney, and Massey. I'll give you that.
I go A-Rob.
4.
I know Komet got 1.
Komet got 1.
I know Jimmy Graham.
Yep.
Tariq Cohen.
Mm-hmm. Old Viking.
Ooh, Cordell.
And
That's about as far as I could get.
Ryan Nall and Javon Wims.
Gotcha.
The great Javon Wims. Yeah, but defensively, Hicks, Mack, Quinn, and Barkevius Mingo all walked away with a sack. Quinn had a forced fumble on his first sack. Deion Bush had a pick. Eddie Jackson got negated of a pick 6. On a 50-50 I thought it was, honestly, in the game, I thought it was a good call. But then I watched a couple YouTube videos on it, and I guess if you're in the lane and you are making a play on the ball, it's technically not pass interference because you are aiming to make a play on the ball. And that did look like his intention, so it was a 50-50 call. I'm not going to be too upset about it. We still ended up winning the game. Some of my takeaways from the game, Danny Trevathan is looking very, very slow, very rough in coverage. He's getting smoked, and I think that it's about time we let Joel Ibigunywe, I still don't know how to pronounce his name after his 3rd year being on the team. Let him get some shots and cover snaps. I mean, JB, you play the Bears twice a year. Danny T has been a stud for us lately, but I think it's just at the point where now he's just slowing down. I mean, he's getting up there, and you know Danny T. Like, he's a dog.
It happens to everybody at some point in their career.
Yeah.
They just start to slow down.
Exactly.
Start to get where those 16 games just start to wear on you.
Yeah.
You guys have the oldest defense in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
So let some of your young guys
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we gotta let
learning behind them.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Let them get their snaps.
Get more coverage snaps in there. David Montgomery and Darnell Mooney are starting to become very big pieces of our offense. Honestly, David Montgomery for some reason is still not getting 20 carries a game through 2 games. His first game 4.9 yards per carry. Second game 5.1 yards per carry. And we have a weak Atlanta defense this week, so I mean, you know David Montgomery, fantasy guy. He's a dog. He's got potential.
Yeah, he does. I mean, obviously he hasn't been that fantasy stud yet.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
They should get him the ball more.
Yeah, he's just not getting the carries. He can't be that fantasy stud if we're not feeding him. 5.1 yards per carry. I mean, come on, that's not rookie numbers over here.
Well, I know you're excited about Mooney too.
I am, yeah. He's very fast. 4.340 in the draft combine. Yeah, Mooney. I honestly was surprised that we signed Ted Ginn this offseason because I thought Mooney would be having the role he is now. But maybe I thought that they were going with the approach like, oh, he gets to get a year under his belt with behind Ted Ginn, see how the speed guys do it. But I mean, Ted Ginn doesn't even have Ted Ginn doesn't even have a return on the year. He doesn't have nothing. No, we sat him week 2, healthy scratch. So, yeah, Mooney's being that guy. And then my last takeaway from the game, Mitch. He's looking much better than what his stat line's showing. First 3 quarters of the game against Detroit, he was rough. Fourth quarter played good. This week, he came out first half, firing away. He should have had 3 touchdowns. I can't believe Anthony Miller dropped the ball in the end zone. I'm honestly the best throw I've ever seen that dude make, if I'm being completely honest. And then, like I said, the picks. Allen Robinson just got out-muscled on that second one. Ball tipped in the air. You can't put that on him. But first 2 games, he's got 5 touchdowns. Last year, he had, 17? So, I mean, he's 1/3 of the way there pretty much through 2 games. So, I mean, he's looking better. I hope to obviously keep seeing doing what he's doing. I like the kid. It's just tough. But, JB, I'm going to talk to you about the Vikings now for a little bit.
Okay.
A good 0-2 team and a bad 2-0 team. Same division. I haven't got to watch any of the Vikings games because we've both been playing at noon. But I'm going to have you break down what's going on in Minnesota, so I have a few questions for you about that. So, like I said, week 1 and 2 didn't get to see, but from what I've heard, it seems like the roles have flopped. Week 1, your defense was, hurting your offense. Like, the defense could not get off the field, the defense could not get off the field. The offense wasn't getting enough possession time. And then week 2, it sounds like your offense was hurting more of your defense. I understand, no Michael Pierce, no Danielle Hunter. Yannick has played, 2 games now? I mean, he's with a new team. You got to take him time to get going. You got some young defensive backs. Mike Hughes is looking like a bust, but what's going wrong?
Obviously, you could just see it in the scores of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, 43-34 in week 1, and then 28-11 last-minute touchdown by Delvin. Obviously, completely different results.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, having Yannick on limited snaps not helping us all. No defensive pressures. It's allowing Aaron Rodgers time to throw the ball, which obviously is never good until a Hall of Famer throw the ball.
Yeah, you don't want
but then obviously he's gonna pick them apart every time.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the Colts game, we didn't allow anything crazy. Obviously, defensive sharpened up a little bit. But we couldn't keep our offense. We couldn't control the pace of the game at all. Kirk, 3 picks. Again, kind of the same thing. They're 50-50 balls. Some were getting tipped. Just the whole offense looked off last week. And obviously, only giving Dalvin the ball in the teens of amount of times, that's never good for us. We got to change the pace.
No, yeah. And what worked so well for you guys, because I mean, we were good in 18, and what worked so well for you guys in 19 to make that big step was feeding Dalvin Cook. I mean, that opened up the offense for you guys immaculately. So, he's the guy that has to get 20 to 25 carries every single game.
Well, right, but when we're playing from behind, it's kind of hard to do. You're taking the ball out of Delvin's hands and putting it into Kirk's.
Exactly.
And obviously, teams are starting to key on that, and obviously not having as good of a relationship with some of these younger guys that he has at wide receiver. He's looking to Adam Thielen a little more than he probably should be, which is resulting in a few scratch marks in those stat lines.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, so my next question for you. So, Michael Pierce, like I said, opted out. No Danielle Hunter this week. Anthony Barr is now done for the season. You got a young secondary. Mike Hughes isn't looking hot. It's not looking good right now. You had a lot of key pieces go different ways. Weatherly gone. Richardson's gone. Griffin's gone. They replaced him with Yannick, but still, all that. You had 158 yards rushing given up to Green Bay. Another 150 going to Indy last week. How do you expect to stop one of the league's best runners in Derrick Henry?
I feel like we just gotta clog those holes. I mean, we just signed free agent Todd Davis. Don't know obviously how he's been progressing with the team, but it's just a matter of game tackling and stopping him.
Yeah.
Where the first point of contact is, being able to limit his yards. Obviously, he's gonna get his carries. So kind of again put the ball in Tannehill's hands, make him make plays.
Yeah, and another way to slow down Derrick Henry is don't just win the time of possession.
Yeah.
The offense, you guys' offense has to get going. Like the less the ball's in his hands, the better, because the run defense isn't looking good and the injuries are adding up, and that's unfortunate. Obviously, you never want to see that. So you gotta control the game. You gotta put the ball in your hands.
Week 2, we scripted a perfect opening drive.
Yeah.
Didn't end up in a touchdown. Ended up in a field goal. I was super happy with how we looked that first possession, and then after that, it just seemed like, again, they took the lead, and then we were playing from behind, and we're obviously making those mistakes we shouldn't be.
Yeah. Okay, and then my last question. So Kirk Cousins, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks. 3 wide receivers for you guys have caught a pass in the first 2 weeks. Thielen, B.C. Johnson, and Justin Jefferson, your first round pick. Is the loss of Stephon Diggs affecting him that much, or do you think this is more on Gary Kubiak?
I don't think so. Again, I think it's just got to be a change in pace, kind of give Dalvin Cook the ball a little more. Yeah, for sure, just noise. It's just, you got to give them time to mesh together. Mm-hmm. This is where no preseason kind of shows up and really affects the team. I mean, being as young as we are, it's obviously showing our holes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. No preseason. It's affecting a lot of teams and a lot of injuries. It's just like your defense is getting beat up now. You look around the league, Saquon done, Nick Bosa done. It was like Black Sunday last week. Fantasy owners were probably pissed off, but that's your fill-in for the Vikings, guys. We haven't got to watch the Vikings games, so now we know what's kind of going on in Minnesota. But the Bears play Atlanta this Sunday, so I'm not looking forward to the game that much. I mean, obviously, I'm excited to watch Bears football. I got the win streak chops going. I got the chain on, like 2-0. It feels good, but it's a dirty 2-0. And Atlanta's going to be a scary team. Their defense is ranked dead last, though, in points allowed and second to last in yards allowed. They're allowing an average of 39 points per game and 476 yards of offense per game. That's awful, but on the opposite side of the ball, completely different story. They have the 5th most points in the league with 64 points in 2 games. So do the math there, 32. And then over 880 yards in 2 games. Calvin Ridley has 240 yards and 4 touchdowns, like in just 2 games. Like, their offense is phenomenal, but their defense is garbage. So our defense is good and our offense is trash. So I don't know what to expect. If the Bears want to win this game, I got like some keys to the game, but I mean, they're going to have to do a lot. They're going to have to run the ball, control the clock, and keep the ball out of Matt Ryan's hands. You need to feed David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson, and Tariq Cohen. Like, you know how Matt Ryan is. I mean, you've seen them. They've looked scary this year.
Well, obviously they revamped their offense with Todd Gurley, and then their defense is young as well. I mean, again, that preseason, there's an example. It shows they're an 0-2 team and probably shouldn't be.
No, yeah. We all that Dallas game was insane.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have been 0-2. So, yeah, run the ball. Another one, apply pressure. You cannot give Matt Ryan time in that pocket to go deep and extend plays and go long. I mean, Calvin Ridley, a route running master. Julio Jones, if he plays, one of the best receivers in the league. And we got Ricky Jalen Johnson, who has been like very good through 2 weeks, but it's a whole different story when you're playing Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. These guys are lethal. So you have to apply the pressure because they're going to tear us up deep. And then last but not least, I know this is like cliche and all, but play smart football, literally. Our offense is not good enough to keep up with Atlanta's like that. So you turn the ball over, they will capitalize every time. You've seen what happened in Dallas. Dallas had to play from behind. They had 4 fumbles in the first quarter. They had to come back. So, and our offense is not a comeback offense. Whatever, we did it against Detroit. This is a different animal. Atlanta will run the score up on you guys. So you have to play smart football, mistake-free, because they're going to capitalize on it. And honestly, if the Bears want to win this game, they have to score 28 points. Because, I mean, I think you can book Atlanta for 24. They need to score 28. And I don't think that Chicago's going to be able to do that. So I'm going to let JB get the pick, the score of the Bears-Falcons game first. Because you guys are going to be shocked with mine.
I'll probably go Atlanta 31, Chicago Bears 21.
Okay. I think that was Colby's. Mine, 28-24, Atlanta. JB, Titans, Vikings, go.
See, this is where it
Put
kind of
you
gets
on the
me.
spot.
I know. In pick'ems, I picked against them. I just had to switch up some juju. I picked 2 weeks with them, and now I have to pick against them. Maybe that'll work. I say we bounce back. I say Vikings 27, Titans 23.
Okay, I got 23-20 Titans. And that's Bears from the Couch with the Vikings fan, folks. Thanks for coming on, GB.
Skull.
Skull. Both our teams play at noon again, so we won't get to see each other's games. Stay safe, everybody.